everyone, and welcome back to the RMTV Women's podcast. This is episode 156 and the first of a brand new year. Another year of doing this, which is mad. I think this is year 4.
Four.
I think it's 4, isn't it? 2018.
Hell's bells. Wow. Where has the time gone?
Yeah, that's mad that. But yeah, another year in the bag. I don't know, it kind of feels weird. It doesn't feel like it's been New Year and Christmas and stuff like that. It's been a weird time.
I know what you mean. I don't like it. Usually I'm really good with New Year. I'm like, yeah, healthy eating. Bam, bam, bam. Yeah. This time I'm like, oh yeah. I don't know.
Literally, yeah, like to be fair, like today's my first day where I've been out of bed before 11 Amazing. In the morning. So
great. I envy that.
Yeah, surprisingly I'm not flagging.
But what I've been tending to do since I'm working from home with all the COVID and all that jazz is I start work at 8 o'clock in the morning on usual. I am waking up at 5 to 8 in the morning and wandering and sitting down and just beginning. It's great.
That's not very you either, which is surprising. But
I'm just tired all the time.
That's working from home perks, I suppose.
It is. I sit in the joggers all day.
Yeah, I wish. If that was me, I'd 100%. I'd be 7:59 out bed.
Yeah, I mean, it's a little bit. I would at least turn on the laptop. That's where the extra 5 minutes comes from. So yeah.
Yeah, you're texting. I'm just loading up Premiere Pro.
Just brushing my teeth.
Yeah, won't be a min.
I know. Great.
Yeah, first day back in work, so I think it'll be tomorrow that it'll hit me. But
hell yeah,
tomorrow's Friday, so I've got a weekend now, so it'll be okay.
You'll be sound.
I can power through. But yeah. Happy New Year, everyone.
Happy New Year, 2022. Will we get some silverware? I hope so. Yeah.
Oh, I really hope so.
This could be the year.
Looking good. It's looking good.
It is.
It's very positive at the minute, which is what we like. It's important to keep the positive mindset going into the rest of the season.
Positivity is key.
Yeah, there's been a lot of negativity. We're leaving that all behind.
Yes, New Year, new us.
New Year, new us, exactly. But yeah, let's fingers crossed for some silverware. There's quite a bit of silverware to play for as well still.
Hell yeah.
So you never know. Could be our
year.
But yeah. We've started off the year very well. Obviously the transfer window is open with it being January. And we've made a signing. Announced today.
Usually we wait until the real end of it.
Yeah, usually we're like lastminute.com, like, oh, we might do something, we might not, and then it's like panic. We need to get someone. Let's get this person. But we have signed someone. We've signed a forward in Katie Stengel. I think that's how you say her name. Stengel. Who knows? The 29-year-old joins the club after most recently playing with Valerenga. We want to say.
We're gonna go Valerenga.
I don't think we were recording when we were trying to clip it, but we were like Valerenga. It's a team in Norway's league. She won the Norwegian Women's Cup with them in October, to be exact.
Fantastic.
Yeah, but she isn't an American player. She's
Have
played.
We ever had an American player?
Yeah, we must have done.
We haven't had one recently. Oh, Riley's Canadian. Never mind.
She's Canadian. Yeah, kind of similar, but not quite.
Same accent.
There probably is someone who's completely obvious, and we're just like missing it as usual. And it'll come to us later on. If one of us remembers, whoever does the edit, I'll put the name here somewhere.
Amazing.
But yeah, Matt Beard has said that Katie is different to the front players we've got at the club and brings a wealth of experience, having played at Bayern Munich and some of the top clubs in America. She's an athletic forward who's good in tight spaces. We only work together briefly, but she's a good finisher, and it's important we have options in those positions where we've had some injuries to keep up competition. Which is very true. Obviously, we've been really lucky this season with the forwards that we do have.
Yeah.
You know, we've pointed out Leanne Kiernan many times that she's absolutely led the line for Liverpool this season so far, and performed exceptionally well. But it's always nice to have that competition to kind of keep everyone on their toes. Basically, it basically means that there's no room for them to sort of slack. There's only room for them to improve, really, isn't there?
100%. I think it definitely helps having that competition, because I think previously we've not really had that. It's always been like, oh God, we have to play this starting 11 because we haven't really got many other players to do it. But I think also a lot with what you're saying about injuries and stuff, I think obviously losing Rihanna Dean for as long as we have, that's obviously impacted us quite a lot. And that whether she's far off being back from injury, and I mean, we don't know. I can't actually remember what the injury was. It was a hamstring or something like
I think
that.
it was something a foot, wasn't it?
Was it? Oh yeah,
It might have been a foot.
it was Wardlaw that had the injury, I think.
Yeah.
Anyways, one of them. But maybe that's a bigger injury than we actually realised, and might mean that she's out for a little bit longer. So we're bringing in someone that can help that. And I think if she's a forward, yeah, I mean, you look at who we've got, Yana Daniels, you probably wouldn't play in the number 9 position. You'd play her maybe more in the wing or in midfield. I think that's what she's been playing for us recently anyways. But I think what I'm most like happy about, and what it shows the most of, is like just a little bit more intent from us. Like we were flying with Leanne Kiernan at the back end of last year, and the midway point of the season. But like, obviously, I like the fact that we didn't feel like that was enough. We always feel like we need to improve and refresh, because one injury to Leanne Kiernan, and then who'd we look to? Do you know what I mean? So it's a tough one, but she looks great. I think the experience is definitely on her side. Obviously, playing in the NWSL and Bayern Munich before, they're two experienceful things to be sort of involved with, aren't they? So she sounds great, and I loved her accent in the video. Just gonna throw it out there, it's great.
She seems like a big personality as well, which I think Americans are always that big personality as well. But I think that's important. Like, she doesn't strike me as someone who's going to be nervous or anything like that. Like,
Yeah.
she's gonna settle quite quickly, which is nice. But
yeah.
I think also it's you think about players who have played in America or are American who have played with Liverpool as well. Like, you look at like when we signed Gemma Pearfield, for example, at left back, just the way she played in terms of her energy, and we see it this season. Kerry Holland, exactly. The way they play is just, they're always like, they might not be like when we spoke to Kerry Holland when she signed, it was like, oh, like, you know, sort of trying to work on the technical aspect again, because over in America they're so focused on just your fitness levels and stuff. Like, she probably strikes me as a player that probably has the fitness levels, but then Matt Beard's point out just how good she is technically as well. And that's obviously, she's played in Europe before, so she's going to have that experience from there. But it's kind of like the best of both worlds. But, you know, we absolutely love Kerry Holland simply because of
Kerry Holland fan club.
She's like, literally, she's just like an engine in that midfield, and like that's what you want. And like, imagine having someone with that similar engine up front who can just run for days across that forward line, who should give you so many options. Like, I think it's just a really good sign. And yeah, we're excited. It should be good. I'm excited to see what she can do.
It'd be great. I feel like I was thinking about this earlier, like, where else would you strengthen? I think, would you want to maybe bring in another goalkeeper?
I was going to say goalkeeper's mine, and simply the only reason why I'm saying goalkeeper is because Riley Foster's out. Like,
and Startup got recalled, yeah.
I would not be saying goalkeeper if Foster was fit. I think that we had the perfect combination of Riley Foster and Rachel Laws there. Like, those two goalkeepers are perfect for me. But I think like Rachel Law's been carrying a bit of a knock recently as well.
Yeah.
You know, you've seen it in the last couple of games back in the last season that she was struggling a bit. She probably played more games than what was intended. So it's kind of like, you don't want her to sort of get to like the final games of the season and kind of be
Mm.
in a different place. You
I
never
feel
know.
like
I mean,
also obviously we did sign that Charlotte Clark when she from Derby,
yeah,
was it? But I feel like although she did great on a debut, absolutely incredible on a debut, she
yeah,
had a great game.
yeah,
It's how much trust we put into her. For example, if Laws does get an injury, she's the only goalie we have, none on the bench. Do you know what I mean? So, and how much can we sort of not rely, but how much can we depend on her if that did come to it? I mean, no disrespect to Derby County, great club, and she's a great goalkeeper. She's only 21 at the end of the day. She's still really young, but it's like that level of standard. Obviously, she'll get there eventually. The more time she's training, the more time she's in and around keepers like Laws and Foster when she hopefully returns. But like at this point in particular, how much can you trust that if she is thrown into doing it week in, week out, she'd be able to sort of deal with it? Do you know what I mean?
yeah. And it's not. It's like you said. Like it's not just her being able to sort of cope with the week in, week out. It's then having even less experience on the bench because you don't know, you're pulling up a younger player or you're having to maybe go and get a goalkeeper you don't necessarily want just to fill the numbers. And it's like, I think a lot of people would probably say goalkeeper's the one that you want to do. And I think a lot of people would have said another striker.
I probably would have agreed with that.
Yeah, because you couldn't just rely on like I love Leanne Kernan, but you couldn't just rely on it. It's not fair to just rely on her. I think she's more than capable of doing the job for us, but it's not fair just to have the expectation on her to be scoring all the goals.
100%.
So yeah, I'm pretty happy with that. Yeah, if we get another goalkeeper, snad. If we don't, okay, like
I'm not gonna cry about it.
Yeah, but I'm pretty happy with the way our squad is at the minute. I think, yeah.
You've got the likes of Meg Campbell that have come back from injury, and hopefully she'll feature more in the squad. Still waiting to see her do a throw-in, to be honest. Waiting for that. Hopefully against Blackburn, we might see it in the flesh.
We might see it this weekend.
I'm pretty happy with the squad. I think the midfield's great. Mel Lawley's thriving this season, and like Bowen, Kerry Holland in the middle working really well. So sounds great.
Great setup.
Great setup. No other adjective to use other than great. Great stuff.
Yeah, well, we'll move on then to a less exciting issue, I suppose you could say. Yeah, it's obviously we're going to talk a little bit about the situation going on at Coventry United at the minute. Just before Christmas, it was announced that Coventry ladies will be going into liquidation, and the women's team is to be no more due to financial instability. However,
turning point.
Yeah, turning points, little U-turn. The team has been saved by a businessman in the Midlands who has taken over ownership.
Give that man a hood.
Well done, fella. Well done.
He took one for the team there, didn't he?
We appreciate you. But it does, however, leave them taking a 10-point deduction, which isn't exactly
not ideal, that is it?
So that means they're now 10 points below bottom of the table, Watford. I'll double check that because I want to make sure. But yeah, I think it is. It was sad. It was sad because it's like you wrote here. How is that still a thing? Like, how can a women's team still be that vulnerable that they haven't even got halfway through a season? Well, they've got to the halfway point of a season, and
they've only gone pro for 6 months, so there must have been some sort of strategy and legislation. I've nearly mispronounced that in place. Forecast, for example, that has mapped out how much the team is going to cost throughout the whole of the year, for example, and whether the budget allows. Do you know what I mean? So there must have been something in place before going pro for those 6 months that was in place in order to ensure that this didn't happen. But obviously it has, and it's horrible and awful timing, by the way, just before Christmas. The fact that some of the players and the staff are going into Christmas not knowing if they're going to get a paycheck next month. Do you know what I mean? It's really, really sad. And like we saw it with Yeovil a few years ago, and we thought that would be hopefully one of the last times that we would see it. But like in 2022, I was about to say one then, in 2022, when we've had all the Barclays investment, we've had Sky Sports, we've had BBC, BT, everything. I think it just shows how vulnerable the Women's Championship is as a league. I mean, the WSL gets a lot, and don't get me wrong, there are probably some teams in the WSL that are still struggling financially, those that maybe don't necessarily have huge counterpart male clubs, and that's the issue. I think teams like Coventry can't survive, like teams like Liverpool, for example, because we do have all the money coming in from the men's side. I think that's a massive part of it, and hopefully we'll get to a point where it's not. But I think it was just a bit of a wake-up call for everyone, because I think it can gloss over sometimes how, football's doing really well, women's football's on the up, blah blah blah, and then something like this does happen, and I think it just gives us all a bit of a reality check to say, whoa, we've actually still got quite a long way to go here, which is really sad. But they've managed to turn it around, but the cost of a 10-point deduction, which halfway through a season is a lot, so it could be the end of their season already before they even realise.
Yeah, well, the table's still, so they've got 6 and Watford have got 6, so take the 10 points, it's minus 16 points.
Oh.
So it's not really, oh no.
No, it's -2. No, -4, sorry.
Yeah, I'm embarrassed now. I haven't been well, guys, leave me alone. I'm not thinking straight. Maths isn't my forte anyway. Anyway, we'll skim past that. What is it?
Isn't it -4?
-4. Yeah. I was going to say that, but then I didn't want to say it in case it was wrong again. So I was like,
oh, dear.
-4.
It's not gone well.
Right. Yeah, anyway, we'll ignore that. -4 points. So yeah, it's not the worst situation. It could be worse. Not exist. So it could be worse. However,
you do feel for them, don't you?
Yeah, and it's like you said about the players. Like, think of how many of them 6 months ago were only part-time, having full-time jobs alongside that, where they had probably, like, some of them probably had a decent income of a year alongside playing football, and they've been told that, oh, you can go full-time if that's something that you want to do, and they've gone, yeah, absolutely, left the other job, and then now it's like, oh,
they're
wow,
left a bit in the dark. Yeah,
like, not been updated on like people above. Like, I heard that, like, obviously the managers and the coaches are in the same situation, and they've all been so good with the players and stuff, but then the ones above just haven't. And it's like, how
it's
can you
communication, isn't it?
How can you just leave so many people like that just completely in the dark? Is
they're sick.
Yeah,
they're not.
But, yeah, I want to get on this topic now because I'm really embarrassed.
Yeah, we'll move on. Well done, businessmen in the Midlands. Proud of you. Yeah, round of applause for the businessman in the Midlands. Don't know his name, but well done.
Don't know his name, but yeah, well done, fella. Next topic then, which is something else that was announced today, is that Zolas Babajide has officially left Liverpool Women. I'm
gonna be honest, I forgot.
I think a lot of people have probably been like, oh yeah.
Yeah. I was like, oh yeah.
Because you forget that she went on loan. Like, I did forget that she went on loan. Because it's like,
I didn't even think about like the fact that her loan was finishing.
Yeah. But yeah, it's announced that she has officially left.
I don't think, correct me if I'm wrong, and I'm going to check this right now, but I don't actually think Liverpool Women have put anything out about it. So it's come from Rinse herself, do you know what I mean? But nothing has actually come out from.
It was on her Instagram and like Twitter stuff that she said it.
Just having a look now.
Yeah, maybe she wanted to do it before then.
Maybe she's just had enough and gone, I'm just going to say it.
Because obviously we have announced a new signing today, so it's like kind of a bit weird if we announce a new signing to then announce the departure of a player within a couple of hours of each other.
Yeah, you probably wouldn't do that, would you? It's
No,
not
so
looking like they have, but
they might acknowledge it tomorrow or next week.
yeah, exactly.
But it's kind of sad, isn't it? Like what we've just said there, like wow, we got like that she was on loan. Like you didn't forget about the player herself, you just forgot about her being on loan. Like I thought she'd gone. Like you just assume that she's gone. But now that she like officially has, it's like it's kind of like it's a bittersweet moment because she's a fantastic player. Like really got us through a rough patch in our season at one point. Like was absolutely the main person on our team. At one point you were like, oh, why isn't she playing, or why is she this and why is she doing that? And I think I'm just happy that that situation's now been put to bed because it was a long time of and ahhing and us talking about it constantly weekly. Like, is she gonna go? Is she gonna stay? Is she signed? She's just signed a new contract. Like, how do you get around this and blah blah blah? And it's like now you can fully be like, she's not part of Liverpool anymore, which is sad because of how fantastic a player she was. But then also it kind of lets Liverpool. Yeah, and like the player herself can move forward as well with it and just be like, that's something that's over with now. I can now progress in my career in whatever team or league or whatever I want to do with that. So yeah, it's kind of like a bittersweet moment, I'd probably say.
It is. I think the worst part of it is the way that it did end. She went through that incredible sort of patch of goals and really, as you said, pulling us out of a rough patch for a while. Like she was the person that we looked up to when she first came in, the first season or two. She was like flying, scoring all these goals. We adapted all of our players around her. And the fact that she was fast and we were knocking balls over the top. She was a focal part of the team for quite a while. And that whole malarkey with not coming to training with the under 20s or something like that. I think it all just tinted it a little bit towards the end. And if I'm honest, I'm not surprised that she's not coming back. I think that was quite an obvious outcome from when things started to go a little bit pear-shaped. I mean, it doesn't make it any easier. I think she's got an incredible future, and believe it or not, when she was at Liverpool, she was in the Lionesses squad. Like she was really up there as working hard and proving herself. And I think Vicky Jepson really took her under her wing at points to really try and push her. And Fernie had a big part to play in that as well over time. But yeah, it's one of those things that players come and go. But I think the worst part is the way that it ended. But obviously wish her all the best in whatever she goes or whatever club, whether she stays at Brighton. I don't actually know what the deal is, but whichever she does, I'm sure she'll be great.
Yeah, she will. Hopefully we see her back in with the Lionesses as well. I think that was a really good opportunity for her. I think she'd kick herself later on in her career if she sort of let that be her only opportunity. So yeah, like you said, wish her all the best in that. But, yeah, that's everything on today's agenda.
Tell you what, one more thing to mention that I did not add is that we have been drawn to Spurs in the
I'm so excited about that.
Is it the it is, isn't it? The let me have a look quickly.
Is it still a Vitality?
The Continental. The Conti Cup, not the FA Cup. We're against Lincoln in the FA Cup.
We are against Lincoln in the FA.
But we actually play next. Is it next Wednesday? Is the
19th? The 19th.
Yes, we play next Wednesday away at Spurs.
I know.
In the Conti Cup quarter-final.
2 weeks yesterday. Not next Wednesday.
Wednesday after.
We're not good with numbers today. Numbers aren't our forte.
No, it's been a long week.
Fingers crossed, I'm going to ask him work if I can have some annual leave so I can go to that one.
Girl.
It would be a nice trip. I do really want to go. Just so I can wave at Vicky Jepson.
Oh.
Like, hey.
But also I hope we win.
And to watch us win. That is awesome.
Yeah, I really hope so. I think we deserve a good cup run. We've not had a good cup run in a while, so it's a good time to do that.
I think it'll be a really good game as well. Like,
hell yeah,
good matchup. So yeah, definitely Wednesday night fixture isn't exactly the best away at London.
Wednesday night, Dan, I like the way you move.
Yeah, I'm sure there'll be plenty of supporters going there who go.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it'd be great.
Yeah, fingers crossed that hopefully I can go to that one. I'll do.
I've got my fingers crossed for you.
Thanks. We are both planning on going to Blackburn on Sunday as well.
Might get to see our new signing make her debut.
We may. Yeah, so if you come along, say hello, we will be there. But yeah, thank you very much for watching this week's podcast. Good to be back.
Good to be back. Nice little break.
Exactly. Nice little Christmas break.
Yeah.
Happy New Year to one and all. Fingers crossed it's a good one for the Reds. But yeah, thank you very much for watching. Remember to like the video, comment, subscribe to the channel, and we will see you all next time with a new video. Bye.
Bye.